Mia Malone sat in her catering director's office at the Magic Springs Lodge, reading the new catering proposal specifications again. Trying to understand them was a whole other task. On the one hand, the lodge's loosening of Frank Heinz's policies from when her former boss ruled the hotel was a good thing. It meant that Mia's Morsels, her catering company, would be able to at least send proposals to a local board that would make decisions on who would be awarded the contract. On the other hand, the specifications were so detailed that Mia didn't think her company would qualify to even compete, even with the extensive community contacts of her current manager, Abigail Majors. Blake Sandberg, Mia's new boss at the lodge, wanted bids from catering companies that had at least 50 employees, had a non-discrimination policy in place for staff, and would sign an NDA for each assignment. The minimum employee policy alone would rule out any catering company in the local area, and most Boise-based companies didn't want the 3-hour each-way drive for a local event. She guessed that Twin Falls companies might apply, but they mostly hated coming up the mountain, especially for evening events. Mia thought her new boss might have to change her criteria. Blake was all business. Her meetings ran fast with a preset agenda. If you had something to bring up, you sent the request to her email no later than 2 business days before the weekly meeting, or the item was put on the agenda for the next week. Frank liked to play with the staff's minds. Blake didn't want anyone to be surprised or have to think on their feet. Working for Frank had been a nightmare, but Mia wasn't sure working for Blake was going to be much different. James Holder, the head chef at the lodge and kitchen manager, stuck his head into her office. "Want some butternut squash soup for lunch? I accidentally made too much when I was testing a recipe for next week. I'm serving fresh baked bread with it. Come into my office and we can plot a mutiny while we're eating." The kitchen and James, as the chef, had been given new rules as well. Menus were to be standardized with only limited menu changes that allowed them to save money on ordering in bulk. This also meant that James was limited in what he could order from Major's grocery in town. A problem she'd heard about not only from James, but also from the store owner and her boyfriend, Trent Majors. She'd told Trent to file a complaint with the corporate office, not her. She'd told his mother Abigail the same thing when she complained about the catering rules they were excluding Mia's Morsels. She wasn't fighting anyone's battles but her own. Mia knew there was more to the story than the loss of the lodge's business adding to Trent's recent bad mood. His dog, Cerby, was at his hellhound training at the McMahon werewolf camp in the deep woods north of Magic Springs.